It is Indiana in the morning. It's 8:44 on your Tuesday morning, May the 20th, Election Day. Obviously a topic of great interest to our county commissioners. Two of them are with us this morning, Sherene Hess and Bonni Dunlap. And our visit this morning is presented by Marcus & Mack, voted best law firm, best personal injury lawyer 3 years in a row in the Best of Indiana County contest. You can visit Marcus & Mack online at marcusandmack.com. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to have you both with us here today. It is Election Day. Sherene, I know that with your long-time affiliation with the League of Women Voters, before you were a commissioner, elections have always been something really close to your heart.
Yeah, voter education is a big part of the League of Women Voters, and also at the county level, that's a big fun thing for us to do as well. And it's important for people to know that the primary election is important, just as important as the general election. And the polls are open today from 7 to 8 p.m. And if you don't know where your precinct is, where you go to vote, just you can look online to find that, or you can call our voter services department, 465-3852.
One of the interesting things about election season is every year about this time we get reminders about the fragility of elections in Pennsylvania and how this county's going to have to spend buku bucks to upgrade, and this county over here is in trouble, and that county's having difficulty finding poll workers. I think it's a pretty healthy environment in Indiana County, is it not?
Yeah, our chief clerk, Robin Mariani, does a really good job of finding poll workers if they're not already on the ballot, and is able to find those people to work the elections, even to last minute when you have people that drop out. But of course, there's always a need for people to step up and be a worker at the polls.
Mm-hmm.
So I would encourage anybody that is interested to do that, to talk to us, to see how that can be done.
Yeah.
There's training available, and it's an important job. It's not super difficult to learn, but it does take some time. But we would encourage people to think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. The voting machines in Indiana County are up there. They're state of the art, and they're going strong. And that's a testament to previous boards of commissioners who recognized that Indiana County needed to be on top of their game there. So that's always been, I think, a very, very easy, smooth process for Indiana County. Maybe easy isn't the word, but it's been smooth.
Yeah, we have the optical scan with a paper trail, and always have. It's been, as you say, it's state of the art. We had to get every county had to get new machines in I forget what year that was, 2018, I believe, even though ours were relatively new.
Mm-hmm.
We still did that. The state provided some money for it, so every county's on a level playing field now in that regard.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah. Do people have a grip on how to do mail-in voting now?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe because we've been doing it now. So
Yeah.
And go back, Todd. It's just not the machines. I want to go back. It's the people. So our chief clerk, Robin Mariani, has handled the elections for years.
Mm-hmm.
25, 30 years? I don't remember the numbers. And then we hired a director of elections, Wilson Reagan, and also excellent, has been there now a year and a half or two. And all those poll workers, there's many, many long-term poll workers. So I want to make sure that we give the shout out that we have an excellent system, machines and people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Election Day, polls will close tonight at 8 o'clock. It is what they term an off-year election because it's the year after a presidential election. But these are really important because these are your school board representatives, your municipal leaders,
Tax
collectors, and some county positions. All of those things are on the ballot today. So we encourage everybody who is eligible to get out there and to cast their ballot. All right, let's move on to some other things today. Some projects across Indiana County. And one of those, Bonni, you mentioned it a couple of minutes ago off the mic we were talking. The pedestrian bridge has always been a fascinating subject for many, many Indiana County residents. It took a long, long time to close the gap, to get all 360 degrees on that little circle that we kept looking at the Office of Planning and Development website. But it's closed enough now that the bridge is soon going to be a real thing.
Soon. Construction should start any day, and that bridge over 22 will be finished towards the end of the year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a pretty exciting
Yeah.
development. It took a while, didn't it, Sherene?
Yeah, the gateway to Indiana County. Gateway. Yes, it did. Many years, well, close to 15, I believe. And there were a number of really persistent individuals involved in that. And the organizations and the funding apparatus is there now. So, yeah, it was a big puzzle, but it's going to happen. And to connect that one side of 22 to the other side of 22 is so vital. It serves so many purposes. It's not just a hiking and biking kind of a trail, which is very important. It's a connector for one side to the other.
Yeah,
So,
and
please.
the safety factor of it is
Right.
so important, and for people to safely get across that highway, nobody wants to try to walk across that or run across.
Well, it's
that.
illegal.
Yeah,
to
you're not
technically.
allowed to walk across it or
Yeah.
run across it.
And the focus has changed a little bit from, yes, still connecting to Blairsville eventually, but connecting to Pine Ridge Park is now more of the intent, so that we can be that's going to take from Pine Ridge to Ghost Town to Hoodlebug. That will all be connected in our trails and our park system. So I think that's a really cool thing. The amount of people using that Ghost Town Trail and even Hoodlebug is astounding.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And to make that little link between them as little as it is, it's a really big link. So that's one project that we're talking about, soon to be underway. There's another bridge project too, isn't there?
So our Parks Department received a grant, and that grant is to rehabilitate the Kintersburg Covered Bridge. Say that one 3 times. And in order for them to rehabilitate it, it will have to be taken apart. So you'll see that work starting later in the summer, and it will actually be taken apart and redone and reconstructed and
Board by board.
Yeah.
Board by board. It's an amazing undertaking. It really is. And they have to really be delicate because they want to preserve the historic nature of the entire structure. Yeah. So that's a big thing. What else is happening in terms of county projects? Because things happen that we see things once they get underway, but it's helpful to know when they're coming as well.
So we just had a big weekend in Indiana County with the airport. We had the recognition of Jimmy Stewart's birthday. We had the plane that was flown in that used to be Jimmy Stewart's plane. So that brought a lot of attention to the airport, rightly so, because the airport, I think, is an understated asset for our county. I don't think people realize. I didn't realize until I went out and stood there and watched planes coming in and going out, coming in and going out.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting field to see people just using their airplanes for recreation, flying in, having lunch at Riziki, getting gas, and flying out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different concept, and the airport is used more and more, and the county recognized that, and there is going to be a grant, also through a grant, a large hangar built for commercial planes to be housed there.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be starting also soon this summer.
Yeah, and Sherene, there was the news that came out today that by next year there are actually going to be flying cars, so you can get yours, and you can fly out to Riziki and get yourself some lunch, and then fly right back to the office.
Yeah, it is.
I think
It's
I'll just take my car.
Yeah, it's important to note the economic development interface of an airport like that for a region like ours. So there are many facets to the airport, and so it's great to see that some investment being made there. And you talk about transportation, and that is a mode of transportation, and we're in transportation planning season now. We just had a big meeting with our Southwest Pennsylvania Commission, who is, by the way, part of the apparatus that funds the bridges that we both just talked about. And so there's long-term planning for roads and bridges and other modes of transportation. It's also Safe Walking, Biking, Driving Month still in May, And there's actually a meeting coming up this evening at 280 Indian Springs about that very topic open to the public at 6 o'clock. And we always invite the public to contribute to those discussions. I mean, they are the ones whose viewpoints, whose concerns, who see opportunities. So we invite the public to come to those meetings.
Yeah, absolutely. They're very, very important. You know, Warren Peach, the pilot of the airplane,
He was here.
that brought it in. He was here on Indiana in the morning. He said he was amazed at the amount of traffic that comes into that airport.
Mm-hmm.
As he sat there at Riziki watching the planes come in and out, there's an awful lot of business conducted here.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's an important element to know about the airport. Is it really is part of an economic development, a community revitalization effort here. So it takes a long time. It's like a lot of things. You're in the forever business in county government. You're waiting forever for the things to come together. But when they do, it's a beautiful thing.
And with Homer City redevelopment and what will be coming there, and you can imagine that airport is going to see a tremendous increase in activity. And probably there are upgrades coming to that continually over the next 10 or 20 years.
Yes.
And roads and bridges and recreational facilities and housing, all of those things, we're anticipating a great boom for Indiana County. It's going to be something to see over the next 15, 20 years.
There's a lot of planning going on, and to fit all those layers together is something.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah, so we're all excited about all those great things, but you're county commissioners, and you are in the business of putting together a budget right now. And
Well, we're working on a budget that will be put together for later in the year, but we've been aggressively working on that now in the beginning of the year. Last time we were here, Commissioner Keith mentioned that we were already meeting with department heads, and we've already been talking about how we can start looking at reductions now instead of waiting to the end of the year when it's too late to be able to anticipate the increased costs for next year.
Yeah. So I guess it's always budget season. You're always putting together.
It is a year-round event.
Yeah. And it's good that you're able to do that.
Can we go back to the airport?
You want to go back to the airport?
On the property of the
Do we have
airport
to
is an
fly?
old farmhouse. And that farmhouse is being renovated through a grant also with the students of ICTC to do the renovations, and eventually the Penn State Cooperative Extension Office will move out there. That'll be their office. So 3 reasons to go out to the airport. See the airport, eat lunch at Riziki, check out the farmhouse.
Check out the farmhouse. Absolutely. It's going to be a fun day. It really is. So lots happening in Indiana County. Commissioners meeting tomorrow or next week?
Next week, the 28th.
Yeah.
Yes, second and fourth Wednesday, 10:30
There you go.
a.m.
Looking forward to it. Thanks so much for coming over today.
You're welcome.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate that. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. Election day, the polls are open until 8 o'clock tonight. If you have a mail-in ballot, it has to be at the courthouse by 8 o'clock tonight. Not mailed by, actually at the courthouse by that time. It's Indiana in the morning. It is WCCS, 2.5 away from 9 o'clock.
Or they can take it to their precinct if they have the entire thing.
All of our
Oh,
checking accounts
I'll
are
stop
packed
at
with
your-
online polls